All right, so guys, welcome to the newest webinar. It is Monday, August 14th, 2023. We're going to be talking about follow-up. We're going to be talking about some of the new ads I have going on, some of the best ads to run, conversion, things like that. Now, what I was saying to you guys was I brought Luciano on last minute. Like I literally messaged him like probably 30 minutes ago and asked him if he wanted to join. Honestly, I was supposed to have panelists ready already, but I got sick last week and I just lost track of what I was doing. And I honestly was going to reschedule this, and I couldn't. I couldn't do it again. My last webinar I ended up having to cancel altogether, so it's been a few months since we had one. So I didn't want to have to do that again. It just makes me look unreliable, but I am dealing with some sickness stuff, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, not as quickly as possible, as efficient as possible, and get you guys some good information on what we need here. So one of the first things that we are supposed to go over was the different types of ads that we have. So with the mega package, I have, or not just the mega package, but all the packages, right? I've started over the years, seeing that people need a lot of help with follow-up, and a lot of guys like me that set up ads for you, or provide leads, or whatever you want to call it. Nobody ever helps you with follow-up. Everybody tells you that follow-up is on you. It's on you to do it. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, that's the truth. You have to be the person controlling your own follow-up, right? So, but over the years, I just realized, like, I really care about doing this for you guys. I'm an agent. I've owned a brokerage for a lot of years. I do this because it's a cool living to make. I still do real estate. I don't have to do this, but I love being able to see agents that otherwise would have failed or become part of the statistic succeed and do really well. And I feel like, if I'm really good at converting, why would I not do these webinars or put together things that can help you convert? So that's why I do them. I don't get paid anything for doing these free webinars. They don't benefit me in any way, shape, or form, but they do benefit you, and that's what matters. I think Luciano is probably one of the prime examples, and that's why his, out of the thousands and thousands of reviews and trainees and success stories I have in the group, he was the one that came to mind. Because I think in the beginning, I don't think this really worked for him as well as I think most people think it should. And I know a lot of people that sells a product won't say that, but I'm a pretty honest individual. Like, it takes time to build this shit up. Like, it doesn't, for example, the person some of you guys probably saw comment in the group the other day or make a post that there was a whole ulterior motive behind that situation that we uncovered. But at the end of the day, his message was, it's been 3 or 4 days. I got 8 leads. I haven't converted anything. Well, one, I mean, this is fucking real estate. Like, you're not converting anything in 4 or 5, 8 days, or even 2 weeks. You have to work a lead. I mean, a quick, deal in real estate is getting the lead in, talking to them, get them to talk to you, get them approved, or if they're a seller, get their house ready, get them to contract, 30 to 45 days to close. I mean, 2 months, that's quick in our business, right? But over time, you start to develop a wheel. The problem is, I see a lot of people get to 30 or 40 leads, and I'm like, I called them once or twice, it's not working. I've only called people 2 or 3 times. You got to be consistently working these leads, getting after this shit. Like, you're not going to build a business by sitting there calling people 2 or 3 times and then giving up on them. It's just not going to happen. And that's why I even say, when you guys request information from me, or you ask me for information on my training, it literally says in the write-up, if you're not ready to commit to follow-up, this may not be for you. I'd rather you not sign up. Right? 1, because I don't want to see you fail. 2, because I'm not trying to see a bad review go up for me because of something I can't control. I can't control whether or not you guys are calling your leads. I can't control whether or not you're doing those things, right? Those are things that are out of my control. What I can control is, getting you leads, helping you put up ads that are viable, and getting viable leads and working those leads. That said, so and guys, please ask as many questions as you want. I have two screens up. I'm watching this one right here. It's all chat box. And then this one right here is what you guys are seeing. I want you to ask any questions that you want so that we can make sure that we're answering everything for you guys. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys have asked, like, what ads work the best? Or, why do you do certain things behind your ads? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? I've even had some people go, man, your ads are fucking ugly. Now, before we move on, I am going to tell you guys, I don't have the best mouth. I speak freely. I speak the way I speak the way I want to speak. I am who I am. So if cursing offends you, I suggest you get off the call. If it doesn't, you're going to learn a lot today. I can promise you that. So what are the best ads that I have, right? I have ads like, we offer a list of open houses, or we offer a list of homes in a certain price range. New construction properties, fully rehabbed properties, zero down. A lot of people tend to think that that I'm like a lot of these other marketers where I just go after the ads that get you the cheapest leads and the highest lead count. It's opposite for me. I don't give a shit about low lead costs. I don't care if the lead costs you $25 a lead. If you're able to close 3 or 4 or 5 out of every 100, you spend $2,500 for 100 leads, but your average cost in your area is $500K. That's $15K commission on a deal at 3%. You close 5 of those, that's 75 grand. Do the math, do the ROI on that, right? It's huge. So, and I have data. Somebody's actually talking about data right now on the chat box, but I have ads and data for everything. I mean, offering credits to veterans, first responder deals or credits. I do custom ads for people all the time. What makes those ads work is a multitude of things, right? It's not the type of offer, it's the way you convey the offer, and it's who you're conveying that information to. Here's what I always say. I could target a group full of people, and every single one of them, 100% of them could be individuals that are looking to buy or sell a house in the next 30 days. 100%, it's going to happen. But if my ads suck, if they are dull, if they don't talk to people, if they don't catch attention, shit doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter who I'm targeting. If they're not paying attention to the ad, I've got nothing, right? So that's why I do a lot of very bright, a lot of very vibrant, photos. Some people go, man, like I don't really like your ads, or your ads don't fit my branding. That's a question that I hate. I mean, that's a statement that I hate. Your ads don't fit my branding. At the end of the day, let me be honest with you. And I promise you, I'm not trying to be rude to anyone. I'm very blunt. Nobody gives a shit about our branding, right? People on Facebook and Instagram, they do not care that your colors are gold and black and that you love cursive and silver and all this other crap. They don't want to see your face on the ads. They don't want to see my face on the ads. They don't want to see all this stuff. What they want is information on buying or selling their home. They want you to give them that information. They want you to convey it properly. They want you to help them, and they want to get done what they want to get done, right? That's the facts, right? The data all over testing tells us that. Every time I brand an ad, I do it just to test things, right? So I'll brand an ad. I'll put the same exact photo, but with my picture on it. And I'm pretty as shit. People should pay attention to that stuff. But when I do that, lead cost goes up by 80% and lead count falls off by 67% on the same ad, right? That's exactly right, Brian. Who cares what it looks like? It gets conversion. That's what I tell people. Stop worrying about whether or not it fits your brand. Fact of the matter is, if your brand was working for you right now, you wouldn't be having me set up ads for you and getting leads. That's the fact of the matter. It's a hard truth, and it sounds rude when I say it. anybody who's worked with me knows I'm not intentionally rude to people. I don't do that. I like to think I'm about as nice as you could possibly be to someone, but you are not going to get any sort of further attraction by adding your branding to my ad. So I'll have people that'll ask me, well, I want to do your training, but I want you to add my branding or I'm not doing it. Well, then you're not doing it. John Solomon, I believe Christiana responded to you earlier already. I'm on webinar right now. This is not the place for that. You can email support. I don't know what's going on with my messenger, but please email support or message Christiana directly, but I can't address this on this webinar. All right, so again, as far as the branding goes, no, we don't want to do that because your cost per lead is going to unnecessarily go up. The ultimate goal is to put out the type of ad that brings in the lead, gets you the information, and then you have the best way. Now you have what you need to continue to follow up on these people and get them on the phone, right? So list of homes is a great ad to do. Most of you, I don't know if I have any, do I have any trainees on this call that have been with me over 3 years? Anybody that predates all my surgery stuff? Tony Anderson, same thing, or Cindy, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Please contact support for that stuff. The webinar is not the place to do it. So if you were with me like before I can't remember the dates. Well, I'm not, because I'm COVID branding right now, but before I had surgery, I would not. Do you guys remember me in the group saying seller ads suck? I'm never going to offer that shit. No, I will not sell it to you. What's your home worth ads suck? They still do, by the way. I don't like them. They're terrible. But do you guys remember when I used to say that? Like, I'm never going to offer seller ads. You can get sellers through buyers ads. That's the only way I'm going to do it. Right? There's a reason for that. Okay. And the reason is, one, morally, I couldn't do that to you guys. I will not sell a product or an ad or package something up for the sake of getting money out of people. It's not who I am. It's not what I do, and I will never do it. I don't do probate stuff either. If you're going after people right when their family members die, miss me with that. I'm not dealing with you. Other than that, I'll do just about anything you want, right? But the reason why I didn't do that is because think about what's your home worth. And I think a lot of you probably still use that ad. Here's what that ad does. All right, I'm a user. I'm looking at the screen. What's your home worth? I click that ad. I submit my information. I go on your website. I start putting it in there. Great. Now I know what my home is worth. Doesn't mean I want to sell the shit. Doesn't mean I want to have you call me. And a lot of times when you use those what's your home worth forms, it'll let you put that information in there, or it'll let you start doing all the info to get it, but it'll tell you, in order for me to give you the value of your home, you have to submit your info. That's a forced lead. Okay. Now that's when you end up with a bunch of foff at foff.coms or screwyou.coms or whatever. Or if they put their real information in there, you call them and they're going to tell you to piss off because they didn't want to put that information in there. They were forced to do it. My ads, when I go after these things, they are structured from a verbiage perspective to let people know I'm offering you something specific. Okay. Something that you may need, like a list of homes in this price range or information about this type of financing. But in order to get you the proper information, you need to submit your info, and I'm going to reach out to you. So when these people submit their info, they know that someone's going to reach out. Step number one, that moves them from a cold force lead to at the very least, a warm to hot lead. Okay. And people that are typically more serious. I'm going to start answering some of these questions here in a minute. I just want to convey the rest of this information. After I got sick and I started doing the surgery, and I had to start doing surgeries, and I had all those months to, be laying in the bed, I started testing ads. And I'm going to go into the group right now and see if I can find some of these photos to show you. For those of you in here, or those of you who may see this after it's done on the recording, my points, right? I sat here and I tested ads for months, like trying to figure out how do I how do I get to the sellers that I'm looking for? Why are these not working? What am I doing wrong? Right? And I started testing, and with that, just it just became trial and error. Certain types of verbiage, certain types of things sellers are looking for that they really care about, that they don't care about, things I can omit, things I can include, and over time, I got to one or two ads that did really well, and that right there is how much it spent me. Is how much it cost me in 2022 to test my ads. Okay, but let me tell you why that wasn't a problem. Because after I realized it was working so well, I own a brokerage. I basically every time I got these leads, we worked them. I got them on calls or I got them in person, signed the listing, and then what I did was I had someone else in my brokerage work it because I do this all day. I can't focus on all that. At the end of the day, I spent $7,800, a little over 7,800, 21 listings, 22 million in volume, 660K in GCI minus the 7,800 for ad costs, and let's say another 5K for administrative stuff. You guys do the math on that, right? When I saw those numbers coming down the pipe, I realized we had it. We had what we needed. And then I started offering seller ads to you guys. And now you see every week I post, I get numbers of the agents that do this for me. And I appreciate you guys, by the way, the ones that take the time to answer my emails that I send out and respond and tell me how many deals, how many listings they've signed from the leads, how many deals they did that week, things like that. That's how I'm able to provide those numbers from those people. I was going to try to average it out over everybody, but I don't want to guess and give false information. So I just post whatever people give me. Usually I would imagine it's probably more than what I actually post because I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't respond to me and ask me that stuff. All right, I'm going to answer a few of these questions while we're talking about the ad piece here, and then we'll move forward. So let's see. Cheryl Bennington, can we add additional campaigns for Easy Touch a few times over the years? I'm assuming you're talking about drip campaigns in the CRM. For those of you that don't know, I do own a CRM. It's called Social CRM. SocialCRMPro.com is the website if you're interested. Yes, you can add drip campaigns for anything you want. Let's see, AJ Minton, I use your ads that you already have preset and change out the photos here and there, but the first time home buyer and seller's ads both have worked really well for me. That's great, man. I love to hear it. Everybody has their niche, right? I have some clients that won't touch first time home buyer ad with a 10-foot pole, and I have some that have made their whole career on it. There's someone in Houston, Raquel Reyna. She used to work for my brokerage. I met her as a trainee, and then she came and worked for us. She built her whole business on first time home buyers. Does probably 30 or 40 deals a year. Really, really good agent. Brian Wynn, is the data that you have on conversion from a buyer or seller becoming a lead? Both. How many percentage of them converted into a transaction? I'd have to pull the numbers up, but overall, as a collective, it's 3 to 5% across the board. On a 30, 90, or 120 day, I don't know those numbers offhand, but it would probably be more like 1% converted at 30 days, 2 to 3% converted at 90 days, and then the last percent converted at 120 days or more. The average is about 60 days to 90 days before you'll see an average lead convert into a deal, right? That has nothing to do with the leads, by the way, guys. That's people. I'm sorry, but think about yourself as a user. I mean, as a buyer, you're not jumping out, filling out a form on Facebook or anywhere, and then 2 days later signing a contract. You're searching where you want to go. You're figuring out schools. You're figuring out work. Like you're not just jumping up and moving on, right? It takes time. I think 60 to 90 days is a pretty fucking normal timeline to close a lead. I mean, you're in real estate. We are not selling cars where somebody walks on a lot and then buys a car. Let's see here. Any other questions? Do you offer Emily Thompson? No, all of my packages are buyer and seller ad, but here's why, right? Sellers they're with the exception of death, divorce, and moving out of state, a lot of sellers are going to end up in the market as a buyer first. So a lot of those people are going to hit list of homes ads, open house list ads, things like that. You need to be asking them, do they have a home to sell first? Because a lot of them are going to tell you yes. I see about a 50-50 mix of leads that come in on buyer ads that are also people that need to sell a home first. So that's why I don't just do seller ads only or buyer ads only. It's a collective, and that's why I offer different levels of packages for people who want to sign up, because you need all of those things. You have to have that differentiating ad set to, one, keep yourself fresh in the market with different types of ads, but two, make sure that you're getting a good diverse group, diverse type of lead. And what I mean by that is like open house or list of homes, and the diversity in the type of buyer or seller that you're getting. And then it said, what if you ran ads, got the leads, and they say they never signed up, or they don't know what you're talking about? That's a great question, and I'm going to cover that the second that we start the follow-up piece. The follow-up piece of this is very simple, guys. As people look at it and go, that's it? That's what you do for follow-up? Yes. And we're going to have a lot of questions that get asked during that. Sorry, there's that pause in my brain there. They're going to have a lot of questions about the follow-up piece as we get into it, but that question, Emily, is specifically one that I hope people ask on every one of these, because that's the main thing that I cover that helps people convert. Okay, so that was a great question. Now, as far as the ads goes, I think that's all I can give you on that. If you guys want to sign up, if you want to be on board, you can message me after this. That's fine. That's not what this webinar is about. Now, as far as the CRM goes, right? This is my CRM, social CRM. I'm going to give you just a quick overview of it. It does everything you can possibly think of. If I can remember my own login, there it is. It was built for Social Agent, but I've got users from all kinds of brokerages using it, trainees, and both trainees and non-trainees. I mean, you can track deals, you can track conversion rates, video messaging, text messaging, drip campaign, emails, direct connection to Facebook, no Zapier needed. I mean, it can hold a mountain of contacts. I think I have almost 1 million contacts in here. I'll look and see. Yeah, 900,738. So if you and I mean, there's tons that this thing does. I mean, really, it's easy. It'd be easier for me to tell you what it doesn't do, like have a website. I don't care about you guys having websites. I'd prefer you not divert leads to a website. But that's a personal preference. And I'll cover that in the follow-up section as well. So I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and then we're going to dive into the follow-up piece. Does anybody have any questions about what I do, what the Social Agent does, what any of that stuff before we move on? So Emily asked, are we able to target specific areas, clients on the ads as well? Specific areas, yes. You can target, any specific area and then a 15-mile radius. You're no longer, as of about 4 years ago. Sorry guys, I'm turned around trying to fix my air condition. As of about 4 years ago, you're not able to do like 1 mile wide radiuses because of fair housing. They don't want people targeting just one zip code or one thing like that. That's why they do that. But we can target certain little regions in a 15-mile radius. Let's see. She said she has Lion Desk. Can your campaigns connect inside there? Do you need Zapier for your CRM? No Zapier needed for the CRM. My drip campaigns can be added to any CRM if you manually input them. And just an FYI, guys, if you do sign up for my training or my ad setup, you don't have to use my CRM. The CRM is there as an option for you. You can use any CRM you want, as long as it's got a connection to Facebook or can be connected through Zapier. Let me see. I'm going to answer a few more questions. So based on the data, by us sticking with the follow-up 60 to 90 days, oh yeah, it should increase your chances greatly. And I really want to get into that that comment that Emily made about conversion, about or clients that say they don't recognize you when you call. There's a big reason for that, and I'm itching to get to that point. But first, what I want to do is I want to I want to introduce Luciano. He is a trainee of mine. I'm gonna honestly, I don't even want to try to guess because I've been working with you for a long time, dude. Luciano, if you can unmute, mute yourself, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions because I think I want them to get some specific answers from you. Luciano's completely unbiased. We have no working relationship other than he trained with me. I worked with him in the past and set up his ads, and then he recently came back and had them set up for his son.
Exactly, William. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for
Hello, guys. Can you hear me, or is it just William that went frozen?
Hey guys, are you guys still there? I just lost internet out of nowhere. Everything just shut down. Hold on one second. Yeah, all right. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Thank God I have a separate network set up, but my main network just went down out of nowhere. It just shut down. So let me redo this. Luciano, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All
We're all
right.
here.
I apologize, guys. If that happens again, stay on, please. And I'll bring it back again. Let me share my screen again. That was weird. Thank God I set up that failover plan for something like this, man. Let me make sure this is still recording too. Okay, it picked up where it left off. All right, so I think where I left off before it shut down was kind of telling them about your background, where you started in real estate, how we started working together. And I think like you kind of had struggles in the beginning, and kind of where you went, what your GCI looked like, year one after starting training, and then where it went after that.
Perfect. So I actually started to help out my wife, who was the one in real estate. It was 5 years ago. We were really struggling with the business, doing around 35. A good year would be 40,000 GCI. And I started looking for options. And then I found a social agent. Imagine 5 years ago, I think we weren't, the group was, I don't know, 300, 400 in size. So it was a real long time ago. And I trained with you, and we set up the first and second time home buyer ad, and the leads started coming in. With that, and with the questions you were answering, we figured out pretty soon that follow-up was the key part of it. And not only follow-up, but the timing on when you answer the lead. In other words, the lead came in and we would say, okay, no, I'll do that in the afternoon because X or Y thing that I've got to do right now. And people wouldn't take the call. People would curse you out, whatever. If the lead came in and you answered that call within 5 minutes, almost, I don't know, almost everybody picks up. Doesn't mean that they've got the money, the interest or anything, but they would pick up because they would realize they were the one that initiated the action. So that for me was like an eye opener 5 years ago. And we've been doing it since. Let's say for the first year, we struggled. We tried to figure out all of these things. But second year, we managed to get to 125,000 GCI. And today we shifted our business a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. We are not doing any more local leads. We're doing international investors, and we've migrated to pre-constructions, which in Florida, that's where we are, they pay anywhere from 6% to 10% commission, the developers. So I was telling William that today, from our cutoff, we're on eXp Realty, and from October, which is our cutoff date, until July, we were a little bit over 500,000 GCI.
And how much of that would you attribute to the training itself or the ads from the training?
I would attribute 100%, just because we only do Facebook ads. We only do Instagram and Facebook. And everything is based off your training and what we did together, as I told you. And it's been 5 years in the making. It wasn't from one day to the other, but we've kept it together, and it's been growing. Fortunately, it's been growing. My son has joined us, and he wants to dedicate himself a little bit more to local market. So that's why we called you again and had him set the ads.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I actually just learned something new because I didn't know that that 100%, when you wrote that post, I think it was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that 100% of that GCI was from the ads. I thought it was just that was your overall. So that's awesome, dude. 500,000 in GCI just from the Facebook ads this coming year.
Yeah,
So
and we've built a team. We are now 5 people. We're not the only ones making let's say the initial calls, but every lead that has we have a pre-qualification script. We run it through the leads, and everyone that's pre-qualified, then we have a Zoom call with them, and that's basically how we're handling it. Only pre-qualified, my wife or I, we jump on a Zoom with them, and we take it from there.
Dude, that makes me happy, man. I'm really happy to hear that, dude. Like, well, sweet. Like, kind of threw me off guard there, man. $500,000 just from the ads, dude. Like,
Yes,
I kind of figured
yes.
it was probably like 30, 40%, maybe 50% at best. That's really cool.
Oh no. It's 100%. That's the only thing we do. I mean, we target just as you would target here. We target right now we're targeting Colombia, which is our native country. We know the idiosyncrasy and everything, so we target them, and it's been a very good business.
Okay, so guys, this is where I'm gonna segue into what Emily said earlier, but you're probably gonna hear two different things. I want you to hear how Luciano would open up a call, or how his agents open up a call versus how I recommend it. Because there's more than one right way to do it, but there's one premise, there's one motive or one goal behind why I'm going to tell you why I do what I do when I open a call. And it'll answer that question that Emily had earlier. And I'll reread that question. But first, Luciano, when you get a new lead, one, speed to lead is important, right? We've established that.
Mhm.
Because the quicker you can get to them, the better, right? The more likely they are to know who's calling.
For sure.
But I'm going to help you guys for those of you that are out in the field that don't have a follow-up system in place, like an ISA or a texting service that can do it for you. If it does take you 3 hours to get to a call, I'm going to tell you how to fix that problem. How do you open up a call when a lead calls you? Let's say let's for the sake of the average agent that doesn't get to the lead within a minute or two. If it took you an hour to get to a lead, how would you open that call when you call them?
Oh, well, basically what we do is identify ourselves and how we got their number up front. Like we would go, hello, this is Luciano Garcia from EXP Realty. We know that you're interested in learning more about investing in South Florida in real estate. How can I help you? And then they'll
That's
take it
perfect.
out from there.
That's perfect. So guys, I'm gonna read this question that Emily sorry, I don't remember her last name. Let me find it. Emily Thompson asked, because like legit, this is like the number one thing that I talk about on these things. She said, what if you ran the ads, got the leads, and they say, I didn't sign up for that, or I don't know what you're talking about, or whatever. 9 times, not even 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, the reason why that happens is because of the way you open the call, and that person thought, telemarketer, damn it, like I don't want to talk to this person. Guys, let's be honest. 95, 99% of us look at our phone when it rings, and if it's not a program number, we go, oh shit, we don't want to answer that call, right? We don't know who it is, because it'll be somebody like me. I'll be like, have you talked about your car's extended warranty lately? No. So my point is, it's going to be some crap call a lot of times, right? That's the reality. Everybody texts, everybody emails, things like that. When you open a call like this, now my style differs a little bit from Luciano's, right? I prefer not to identify exactly who I am in the beginning. Hold on one second. Meredith Walsh is saying she can't hear me. I'm assuming she's asking if it's just her. Is everybody else able to hear me before I keep going? Okay, so yeah, Meredith, it's just you. Sorry. All right. So again, I'm gonna give you 2 different things. Now, Luciano, if I called you and said, hey, Luciano, this is William Hegman. I'm calling from, Realty Solutions, and I'm calling you because of blah, 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 right? 9 times out of 10, the way you did it was you shortened it so it still works. But a lot of people don't do that. They go into this very long, dull thing, and people instantly go, telemarketer, I didn't submit my info. I didn't call you. Boom, 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 bye, bye, right? You gave them an option. Or a lot of people will go, do you have a second to chat? Almost every time I hear people, do you got a sec? When you ask them a question, you're leaving them open to saying no. When you ask me, hey, Will, you got a minute? No. Versus asking me, hey, Will, can we, let's chat for a sec. You're not leaving me an option, right? Then I got to be rude to you to say no. Most people won't do that. But here's the difference in that call. If Luciano submitted his information to me and called me, my goal is to get in front of him, let him know that he submitted his info to me, and that I'm calling because he asked me to. Hey, Luciano, this is William Hegman. You submitted your information on my ad about selling your home and getting the top 10 tips about selling your home. I'm trying to send that information over to you. How can I help you? Or whatever. Or where can I send that? But typically it's shorter than that. I'm just giving you guys a longer version. Typically I would go, hey, Luciano, this is William Hegman. You submitted your information to my ad about selling your home. How can I help you? really quick and easy. You submitted your info. What can I do for you? I basically just said, hey, Luciano, you submitted your information to me. What's up, dude? I just said it in a very nice way. I put the ball in his court immediately. He can't do much except for going, oh, well, oh, yeah. And if you need to remind him, yeah, you submitted your info on my Facebook ad. We're offering that list of top 10 tips on how to increase your home value. That's one of my ads that I offer. I'm trying to send that information over to you, but I need to make sure that I have your info correct and chat with you real quick about what you're looking to do so that I can send you the right information. Now you've got dialogue going. You've taken away any ability for that individual to say, no, I didn't submit my info there, because you told him they did. You don't need to know. You don't need them to tell you whether they did or not. You told them they did, right? That's a done deal. Okay. Now you need them to talk to you. Where can I send this info? Control the call. You can't let those people control you. The second they control the call, done. You've lost all credibility with them. It's over. And once you have dialogue going, right? It's like when you buy a car. Once you have dialogue going with a car salesman, you almost feel like you're inclined to go back to that person. It's just easier, right? You already worked with them. You know them a little bit. You got a little bit of a relationship. You don't want to go find someone new. It's easier to work with that person. So you go back to them, right? That right there, guys, I'm telling you right now, in my brokerage, we were closing at less than 0.5%. Pitiful. On my leads, the leads that I know are good, I know are closable, closing at less than 0.5%. One, we had a lot of agents, they weren't working their leads right. Two, when I started listening to the calls, it was fucking horrible. Like it was like, hey, I'm calling because you submitted your info. Can we talk for a second? No. Okay, bye. And then they'd never call them again. Like terrible. So we implemented the training. That one change, once I got people comfortable with just opening those calls like that, that was it. We went from 0.5% to 2%, which is good, but still under what I wanted. Then we implemented an ISA service, a local one. It's more expensive, but and I'm sorry, but I hate to say it, but people do judge us based on our accents, right? And so you can use a VA, and we had some really good results with an overseas VA. But I will tell you that the data reflected when we used the VA from Panama, we closed at 3.5%, still went up a 1.5, which is great. And when we used one with I guess an Americanized accent, if you will, it went up to 5.5%. So there's a big delta between those two numbers. So, but you do what you can afford, right? If you guys can afford to do an ISA that's $7 an hour in Panama or whatever it costs from those companies that do that, do it. If you're not able to follow up on these things on your own, do it. But I will tell you this: if you are thinking about signing up for my training and you have no follow-up plan, or you're not, or at the very least you refuse to follow mine, or you don't think following up is important, I don't want you to sign up. I don't want you to be a client, because what's going to happen is you're going to work the leads or not, rather, and you're not going to get good results, and then you're going to blame it on me, and then you're going to say it's my fault, and I don't want that. I also don't want to see you waste money and fail, because that's not what I do this for. I do very well in real estate as a whole. I do this because I love it. Does it pay well? Sure. But I also love doing it, but I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I love it. So if you're not ready to commit, just like I say in that information that I send you, if you're not ready to commit, don't sign up. Just don't. Okay. If you are and you're ready to take it to the next level, and again, I got surprised by Luciano's number, but 500K, think about that in 5 years, $500,000. So I'm guesstimating here. I'm not looking at your post, but first year, I think you said you did 40 or 50 something thousand from the
35 to 40.
ads. And then the second year it was like 100 something. And that's when you were able to go full time.
Right. 125.
And then third year, just kind of, what did it just double from there?
Yeah, it kept on growing. And when we made the transition to pre-constructions that really pay high commissions, that's when it really picked up.
See what I mean, guys? Like, and I tell people, I don't know why, but in the group, I mean, I guess there's trolls everywhere, but I will get those individuals in the group that go, show us the proof on my numbers. So I did. I showed the proof last year. I posted all of my listings and the agents that they went to in my brokerage. Doesn't matter. Okay, so the thing is, I'll get those Texas agents that'll check my numbers and they go, "You only sold 5 properties last year. I just sold 21." Come on, dude. Like, have a fucking brain. Like, I'm, I have a brokerage. Like, think about it. It's so hard for me like to convey that because it's so simple. I have a brokerage with 100+ agents. Obviously, I train all day. I run a team. What do team leads do? They'll either let their agents work them or they'll work them all themselves. Just like a buyer's agent. Yeah, I sold 5 listings, but you don't show anything on the MLS. Yeah, it's because they all went under my team lead's name, right? That's why I posted that whole list and who they went to and boop, 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 boop. So you guys could see when, and you'll get to that point too, where you're a team lead. If you're working this, like Luciano now runs a team. How do you guys run yours? Do your agents work all their own deals or they pass all under you?
Oh, basically, our team is it's not of realtors. It's people working the phones and
Oh,
doing
nice.
a pre-qualification, and then those who pre-qualify, either my wife or myself, we attend them. So, and 100% on EXP Realty is under my wife's name. So I don't know how many here know about EXP, but she is an icon since last month. So
That's
I'm an
awesome,
icon
man.
agent. Yep.
Well, I'll say this on here. This is the first time people are going to hear it, but I am moving back to EXP Realty at the end of this month. No,
Wow. Are you
and
gonna
no,
sign up with me?
no, I'm coming. I'm coming in under Melissa Galvan and Gene Frederick.
Great, great.
But I was already with EXP. And guys, please don't think this is some kind of recruitment conversation. I'm not doing that. That's actually one of the reasons why I left EXP in the beginning was because I didn't want to do recruitment and all that stuff. For me, it just makes sense to go back for personal reasons. That's the only reason that I'm mentioning it. And the only reason I brought it up is because I didn't know Luciano was with EXP. I was just letting them know. But yeah, so no, I'm going back. I'll be back by the end of the month. It's more so of, I'm going to offer social agent to their agents and be working with them on the back end for some other lead initiative stuff. Other than that, I'll be doing probably 3 or 4 deals a year, 5 deals a year, maybe. I think my own personal stuff. So it's more logistic stuff that I'm going back for, but still going back. And it's a good spot. I won't say that it's a good spot. So guys, to continue the follow-up piece, I need a few of you to post in this chat box. What are the biggest obstacles that you see that jump in your that are in your way when you're calling leads, when you're following up on leads? What struggles are you having so that I can answer those questions for you while we're on this call?
Well, if you let me, while everybody posts that, I would say that the other thing that we learned that was pretty critical was that our first call, not only did we pre-qualify, our first call goal was to get people on a second call, not sell them anything, not try to push anything, just pre-qualify them and get them on a second call. And then on the second call with more information, you can better target their need and show them, yes, I'm the right fit for you. But if you try to do that in the first call, almost every time we lost them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Now, I'm going to give you guys another example. And actually, a lot of you helped me with this last night. So I told you in the beginning of this call, yes, I've got COVID. I am still feeling it a lot. Like I feel pretty bad right now. But I asked you last night, let me find that post. I asked you last night, I said, I got a lead from one of my seller's ads. I sold that property for 1.49 or 1.5 million basically. I got another lead from that listing that asked me to come and evaluate their property. I had to do that without them there because I'm sick, and I had to do the listing presentation last night over Zoom because I let them know I was sick. But because I was having trouble coming up with certain things in my head, I don't normally have this problem because I take pride in what I do and I'm very good at closing. But I was just like struggling in my head to come up with something. So I posted this last night. Or not that. Where's that? You guys probably saw it. It was basically me asking for like what you guys would do, like other avenues that you could take to tell them like what makes you better than the guy that was here before, my previous agent, right? And while I had, I think, a really good kind of initial thought process on what I was going to say down, you guys came and said, do this and do that. And I took away some really good things. Here are some pretty cool things that I use. And the number one thing I told them was, well, I have a group on Facebook and I train agents all over the country and in different countries to do exactly what you want me to do for you, which is market your property. Or I teach them how to get leads like yourself to come in. In fact, I let them know, you found me because I had this listing, which I found through my marketing. That means my marketing works really, really well, right? And I have a group of 42,000 agents all over the country that can also post that listing in if I wanted to, and have them help me promote that listing. You could do stuff like that, right? A lot of you guys could start groups, create those groups. Like locally, I run a couple of groups here local about different topics. One of them is 25,000 strong, the other one's 15,000 strong. So when I want to promote a listing, I use those groups and I post that listing in there, and I get a lot of leads from it. It's not a sales group, it's not a real estate related group, but I'll post a one-off in there like, hey guys, I'm an agent, need some help. If you know anybody looking in this area, boom, boom, boom. And I get, you know how many people hit me up, hey man, you think you can sell my house for me? Stuff like that works really, really well. I do have an organic lead generation method that I use. That I don't sell it. I don't sell it as it's not. I'm not monetizing it. It's just there. I wouldn't mind sharing it with the group. I might do a training on it one day. But that's an option, right? Use those different things that you have as leverage, right? What do you do locally? Things like that that you're going to be able to tell them that differentiates you from other people. But I appreciate your help on that stuff as well. Now I'm going to answer some of these questions. So, getting a few bad numbers, right? People come in. So when they click learn more on those ads, a lot of times it'll auto populate that user's information in there. And sometimes that user's information will be off where in a lot of cases, that person would have actually submitted their right information. They accidentally submitted the wrong. You can look up their phone numbers in Spokeo or peoplelooker.com. You can reverse look that stuff up. So don't just give up on that lead. But like Tony and Cindy Anderson, for example, I think it was like 20 leads initially over the last couple of weeks, spoke to 6 of them, and they have a $1.2 million opportunity now. And if you guys have been in the group, you've seen them posting a lot. I think, they're maybe having some struggles with the system. It's pretty normal for people to have questions or kind of get lost in it, and it takes time. I always tell people when you're doing lead gen, when you're doing this stuff for new, and you're not having a company generate leads for you, but you're coming to me and having me teach you how to do it on your own. It's a process, right? It's like switching from one phone to another and learning how to use that phone. At one point you use that phone, you have no idea what the hell you're looking at, but eventually you get to a point where you can't remember when you didn't know how to use that new phone, right? It's with repetition comes perfection, or close to it rather, right? Let's see. Let me see some more here. John Solomon said, time to follow up and getting caught up calling new leads. Yeah, that's a struggle for all of us, dude. Like unless you've got a lead service or a follow-up service in place to call them immediately, it's going to be difficult to get to them quickly. Now, I'm going to give you guys the name of a company. I hesitate to do this because I don't have a monetary affiliation with them. I don't want you thinking that I'm selling them to you. Smart Alto, I used to have an affiliation with. I used to push them because I don't push anything unless it's a good service. But I used to push them because I loved it and we were using them and we did have an affiliation. We don't anymore. After I got sick, it just kind of fell by the wayside, and we don't work. We just haven't picked it up again. But Smart Alto is a good one. You might want to check them out. But really, any good text-based service, ISA, texting is the #1 way to get a hold of a client, but calling still works very well. Sylvia Wilson said one of her issues is no response. They don't respond to text messages, phone calls. All right, here's a good one, text messaging. I forgot to cover this. Again, it's how you approach these leads, but the whole goal is to get these people talking, right? You want dialogue to start. You guys want to know what I do when I've got a lead that doesn't respond to me? I send a simple text message. Hey, is this Luciano? That's it. That's all I send. I think it was like 96% of the time they respond. Yeah, who's this? And then I hit them with a real nice subtle, hey, you had requested information about how to increase the value of your home. I'm trying to send that document to you. When's a good time to talk? Or whatever the ad's about. You had requested information on a list of homes. I'm trying to send you the specific homes that you're looking for, but I need a little bit more information on your criteria. I'm going to give you a call real quick. Does that work? In that case, you have to ask an open-ended question, but you're letting them know, hey, I'm going to give you a call. And if they don't answer that text, you've already told them you're calling anyway. So call, all right? And keep calling and keep texting and keep going. I mean, the national average is 12 to 13 touches before a person even responds to you. Some will respond immediately. Some won't respond for 30 attempts. Some will respond on 10. It's consistency. That's where most agents fail. And then they go along this wheel of, Zillow, Realtor.com, blah, 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 all these other places. And then they end up here with me generating their own. And they're still like, what the hell? You got to be consistent. You can't expect 15 to 20 days. And then you're like, icon agent at EXP. It's not happening. You got to be consistent and generate those leads and work those leads. And then you end up with $500,000 in commission, like Luciano. All right. Glad I brought you on this call, man. Like that was really good information. Let me see.
Perfect.
If anybody else, do you have Michael Ronan says, do you call leads that come in late? And no, I don't do that. I wait till the next business day, but I will send out a text that says, if it comes in at like 9, or because if it comes in right then and there and you catch it when it comes in, that means that person's awake. I will send a quick text that says, hey, Michael, received your information on, my ad about XYZ. It's a little late for me to give you a call, but since you were up, I figured I'd text you to let you know I got it, and I'll give you a buzz in the morning. At least they know, to me, that speaks like, damn, that guy's on his shit. He hit me up at 9 o'clock. You might get a few and far between. They're like, why'd you text me at 9 p.m.? And my response is, well, it's because you sent in your information at 9 p.m. and I just wanted you to let you know that, we work hard for our clients, and I wanted you to know that we're already on it and we'll speak to you in the morning. And I've never had anybody respond back and be like, that's stupid. A lot of them will respond back and be like, all right, that's cool. We'll talk to you tomorrow, or they won't respond at all and we'll just keep having to follow up. Right. Let's see. Pam said, I'm only seeing your Zoom initial screen, not your presentation. No, I'm not doing any presentation. It's just on my Facebook here. I was flipping back and forth through stuff. Right now we're just talking. Is there a trick to ads to promote specific listings? Follow the videos that I give you in the training videos, and do exactly that. And really all you got to do is post the information on the listing. As far as the write-up goes, post the general area. Do not post price. Do not post address. the whole goal is for that person to submit their lead, their information to you, so that you can call and work that lead. If you give them the address, they have no reason to work with you. They can just call another agent and get them the information from them. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take a couple more questions, guys, and then we're going to have to end this webinar. We're over an hour now. My biggest question is for those that don't ever answer or reply is the text strip that you have set. It'll get to the point in my system, my text strips are set for a year, or sorry, 18 months actually. She said it'll get to the point where it says something like, you should have received your CMA by now. Yes. So you may be confused by that, right? There's a reason why I do that. It's to confuse them. I want them to look at that and be like, what? Like, what? What are they talking about? My goal is to entice a response, right? Or I'll put stuff in there that goes, hey, did you receive my text yesterday? When I didn't even send them a text, right? And I'll be like, what text? No, I didn't get a text. The whole goal is to get them talking to you. Once they respond, you can go, well, I don't know, maybe it didn't go through. But while I have you, now you got them talking, right? That's all you needed. But yeah, but people that don't respond at all, yeah, I let them continue. One of my biggest deals I ever did was 18 houses for an investor that was in my system for 26 months, 27 months before he even responded to me the first time. And I did 18 houses with him in a row over a 6-month period by being consistent. That's a legitimate statement. You guys can check my numbers if you want to. Can we see the emails being sent when they go out for the drip campaign? How many emails and texts? Kip, the drip campaign emails are in documents on the email I sent you, and they're also under the campaign section of Social CRM if that's the CRM you're using. All right, guys, does anybody else have any other questions? Anybody that may want to sign up for training, shoot me a message. If you have any questions about the webinar, shoot me a message. I will post the replay later on. I have to download it, wait for it to get all ready and get it all uploaded to YouTube. Otherwise, if you guys need anything, shoot me a message. Luciano, I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming on. I even learned some new stuff from you today, so that's great.
Thank you for having me, Will. Thank you.
Absolutely. And guys, again, if you need anything at all, shoot me a message. Hopefully you guys learned a lot from this webinar. And I'll be here if you need anything at all.